Hello and welcome to digi8.com. In this video, we are going to cover the topic on virtual team. Now let's start with the definition of a virtual team. A virtual team means a group of people who cooperate from many places. They depend on communication technology like instant messaging and email. They might also use services for voice and video conferences to coordinate. They are also called a distributed team or geographically dispersed team. The phrase can also mean teams or groups that cooperate but not always at the same time. They can also happen across organizational levels. Virtual team members talk through the electronic media. They might have never been introduced to each other in person. Virtual teams are enabled by the widespread use of fiber optics technology. This has greatly enabled communicating from off-site locations. Moving on to virtual team types or examples. First, network teams. Such teams are formed and disbanded a lot. They are made for going over particular issues. These are fields where the expert members, even belonging to different firms, put forth their ideas in the same discussion. Next, parallel teams. These teams are comprised of professionals with specific specializations. They are teams focused on tasks. They are usually needed for a brief duration. They are different from network teams because they do not disband once the job is finished. Next, project development teams. Just like parallel teams, they are dispersed across many places. They can even be located in multiple time zones. Project development teams concentrate on coming up with brand new products. Next, functional teams. These are dependent on what the function is. They only focus on one field in a firm. This can be research, training, finance, etc. They work virtually from multiple locations. Their job is to do current jobs or regular tasks. Next in line are service teams. Service teams are from multiple time zones. They are attached to specific services. This can be data maintenance, network upgrades, customer support, etc. Next in line are the offshore independent service provider teams. These are outsourcing groups and they are independent service provider teams. A firm can subcontract part of the task to them. These groups coordinate with teams onshore. Next, freelance teams. Such teams cooperate for different time periods. They do singular tasks that work towards the bigger plan. They comprise of people such as graphic designers, editors, and writers. These are assembled according to the need. And finally, hybrid teams. Hybrid teams are built with a combination of physically present firms and virtual workers. Virtual workers make use of their geographical spots to produce jobs for the firm. Next, virtual team management. Well, it entails 5 phases. First is the preparation. At the start, when the team is being assembled, the larger goal should be established. Next comes the launch. Understanding the goals, becoming acquaintances, and laying out rules for team development can be achieved in this stage. Third is performance management. After the work is begun, effectiveness at work and team culture has to be sustained through methods of performance management. Fourth, team development. Virtual teams can be propped up by the team and personal development ventures. These should depend on analysis based on data of requirements and shortfalls of the team. And finally comes disbanding and reintegration. Dissolving and forming new team is an important topic that has been ignored by both conceptual and empirical means of evaluation. However, particularly when virtual project teams have only a short lifetime and reform again quickly, careful and constructive disbanding is mandatory in order to maintain high motivation and satisfaction among the employees. Moving on to the benefits of virtual team. First, round-the-clock services. Virtual teams can provide round-the-clock services to the firms, particularly for consumers. This is an excellent method to help a repetitive business grow. Next, makes the firm more productive. Letting people do their jobs from home, since this saves on time spent in traffic, it makes the employee more productive and happy. Next, potential employees worldwide. While recruiting, searching for potential workers from places different from where the business is located is very beneficial. One can find numerous able applicants. And finally, decreases firm's cost. Workers who do their job from their residence save the cost of a locally employed team. Moving on to some disadvantages of a virtual team. First, speed and time may be varied. Next, missing what is important in the information sent. For instance, as a face-to-face engagement is concerned, the communicator can stress on what is essential in the message delivered. They can use bodily movement, facial expressions, and tone of voice. These help team members to share the same understanding. Some of the digital modes of communication lack these methods, such as email. Next is issues with management. Virtual teams are challenging to look after if the individuals are bad leaders or are bad at communicating. Fourth, and the most important, what I feel is lack of team bonding because employees don't meet each other. Next, there could be technological errors, as virtual teams depend on their computers and internet to get their jobs done. And finally, the most important, the meaning of silence is not known, especially in instant messaging and emails. Moving on to virtual team statistics. The most important one is of the most used virtual team app for remote working in the United States during the COVID-19 pandemic. Zoom happens to take 36% share, followed by Microsoft Teams at 19% and Skype at 17%. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to a topic on virtual teams. These are some of the sources and links referred to for the content in the video. Thank you and see you in the next video.